if they want, because I don't know. I'll just have it ready. I won't miss anything.
All right, guys. Who's ready to get started with hopeful laughter? Let's bring it. So, guys, first off, I want to ask a few things of you. Please, no flash photography. I'm kidding, I don't care. Please take as many pictures as you want if you want to take pictures.
Can I blind you with my flash?
Yes, you can.
Do it!
You can decrease my accuracy with your flash. Pokemon fans. I just want to say, my name is Bradley Smith. I also am now going by headliner for my Pony Summon name. I'm trying to get stand-up comedy started in the Brony community a bit, and this is the first time I'm doing a big solo show like this, guys. So thank you. People just walk in, feel free to take a seat on the floor if you want. It doesn't matter, we're just getting started here. Thank you guys for coming, I appreciate it. For those of you coming in, please be aware this panel might be a little PG-13. Alright.
Before you say anything that messes up that apple bloom.
So, guys, let's get started.
You say anything that disgraces that apple bloom.
So, I'm a Brony, and right now I'm actually a freshman in college. But I recently graduated from high school. And I was not secretive about being a Brony in high school. Like, when I came out about it, I already liked a bunch of weird things. So I was like, whatever, ponies, it doesn't matter. I would carry around
Ponies,
like,
it
my
doesn't
pony
matter.
like, on my finger. Like, I would carry around like that I was going to shoot people with it. And I was weird like that. And people, like, you know, I was in theater a lot, so people would always come up to me, my theater friends, and just be like, hey, Bradley, you're really going to have a pony. So, like, would you freak out if I got like a real pony? And I was like, no, what kind of question is that? I know like that's like a little girl's fantasy, I guess, because it's a little girl's TV show, kind of makes sense. But I mean, that's like going to someone and being like, hey, dude, I know you like SpongeBob SquarePants, so you're never going to believe I got you a sponge. And no, listen. I got a starfish to go with it. It's great. Or like, oh, you like Captain Planet? I thought you were a recycling bin. Like, no, it just didn't make sense. Who watched Captain Planet as a kid? Yeah, don't cheer for Captain Planet. That show was mad funny. And you have Whoopi Goldberg as Gaia, and that was like a weird thing for me. I don't know why I just Whoopi Goldberg. But for me, Captain Planet, it was always weird because they had like, you know, the four main elements: earth, wind, fire, water. I said the four main elements, and then they had the fifth one because I feel like they picked up all the kids, and then they were like, I thought we were only supposed to get four. Oh, we did. Let's get right in there. Oh, crap. Let's just make one really quickly. What are you going to make? Heart. Put something on there. They gave it to him. He was like, oh, I got one too. Man, they got fire. What? Heart? Like, I would never, since all five of them are needing to make Captain Planet, I would never make Captain Planet if that was required. Like, they'd be like, no, we'll make Captain Planet once you give me fire and you can have heart, okay? Once we do that trade, you know, we can make Captain Planet. That was like the guy from Power Rangers who got ripped off, like, the frog. Everyone else had like people like tiny and like, that got a frog. Power Rangers, that was always a fun show too. Don't you guys like It's My Little Pony Company, just not on My Little Pony? Yeah. They don't get there! But Power Rangers, that was a show I kind of watched as a kid, and I thought the name was a little misleading, because to me they didn't really have superpowers, or like powers or anything. They just kind of like wore colorful Tupperware and then ran around really quickly. And like, you know, like, and I know at the end of the episode they're like, oh, we're 5 minutes left in the episode, let's form a giant robot. That was like one of their powers. And the other power was that, like, oh right, whenever they walked away from slowly, it would explode. I think that was always a cool power, like, you could just be like, I didn't study for this test today. Alright, let's do it. I don't have any more jokes.
Oh no!
So yeah, Power Rangers, that was a thing for me. Yeah, back to My Little Pony. So I got into My Little Pony when my older brother and older sister, 3 years and 4 years, which is weird, both started convincing me to watch My Little Pony. I thought they were joking with me. I thought they were trying to trick me into wasting a bunch of my time. So I finally gave the first two episodes likes. And I didn't really find the appeal of the first episodes. So I didn't watch it for like 2 more months. 3 days after Christmas, 2011, date marked. Take myself out to dinner every night on my anniversary, eating Brony. I decided, you know what? I've opened up all my Christmas gifts and threw them on my floor, so I might as well watch My Little Pony now, and we don't have anything else to do. So I decided, I watched every episode up until then, and I believe it was going on season 2, episode 12, 13, somewhere around there. And I remember watching it all. It was really weird. A lot of people make this kind of reference, but it was even more weird for me when I was watching the computer with the lights off at like 2 a.m. I was watching just YouTube videos of My Little Pony, and my brother walks in, and I wanted to surprise him with my Little Pony knowledge, so I quickly turned off my screen. Not the best thing to do when your brother walks in on you looking at the 2 in the morning. Yeah, but yeah, he found out, and then I became a Brony, and I remember first few things I did was like, I got into reading fan fiction. I'm not the best reader, like Green Eggs and Ham, about like, kind of maybe. That's like some hard stuff, like kind of underpants. But like, I got into reading fan fiction. I got these Spider-Sis, I think you read that one. Oh, that masterpiece. Yeah, it was excellent. It really was.
You see me shaking my
So, with fan fiction,
no.
I started to get into writing my own. And I felt like it was really fun to write fan fiction just because, you gotta work with writing skills, you gotta put up a website. You felt good when you got like one comment on one of your stories that was like 1,000 words long. It wasn't really anything, but you got feedback, and it's nice. It's something the Brony community really does. They give feedback to the musicians, the writers, everyone. No one really goes unnoticed. But however, with some fan fictions that I wrote, I didn't write them too well. And so I'd always get a lot of negative feedback as well. And I'd find constructive criticism, but sometimes people would be mean to my fan fictions when I didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry I wrote a shit fic about 2 ponies that you don't think should be shit together. That doesn't give you the right to call me names and be rude to me. And people take shipping way too seriously, if you guys haven't noticed. Just like people take the long-awaited question that we're still waiting to be answered by Celestia, who is best known as. That question right there, start wars. World War Z was started by that question. I didn't see that movie, I'm assuming it's about a war. It's not about ponies, and I didn't see the movie, so but I expect some war to be started where it's like, I feel like America, if every country picked one pony to like represent them, and who was best pony, America is definitely down with Kiara. Canada is obviously Silver Spoon's going along for the ride. Whatever, just like, don't make fun of me. So yeah, that's definitely how that would work. We're gonna have nuclear missiles fire just because it's like Germany needs rainbow dashes for this. It's gonna be crazy. Like, I mean, there's no definite answer to that question except for Gilda. It's not a joke. Don't laugh. So guys, this amazing segue here. So something I found out that I really enjoy doing with my little pony community is role playing. I like online role playing. I like it for writing. It allows you to be creative, create your own character. It's awesome. It's like doing an MMO, except you have levels, you can do whatever you want, create your own character. You know, others are better than others, but I remember the first time I got started, I would play role playing. It all started when I went on like one of the websites like Brony or Pony Square, and I went on one of the little IRC chats, just got a black box there. You go into a room, and there was only 2 other people in the room besides me. I was just under the name was at the time Pickle. Don't ask me. And I went in there, and there were only 2 other people in there. Some guy's OC that I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it had the word lightning in it, because every OC has the word lightning in it. And then the other guy that was in there was named Lil Discord, L-I-L Discord. So I just walk in there, like, all right, I'm in the chat room. It's a room for chatting. So I type out hello. I then get the response from the OC I forgot the name of. What are you doing in my house? Not the response I was expecting to get. I thought I was in my house, typing on my computer. Apparently, I'm in this guy's house. And then a little Discord here wants to chime on in and goes, Daddy, who's that man in our house? I was so confused, just because, I just wanted to chat, and now I'm in someone's house, and apparently he's Discord for a son. It was all very, very strange to me. So, then the guy looks over and says, I'm going to call the police. And then in little asterisks, because that's what you do whenever you do action goes to pick up the phone. And I was like, oh. And I finally caught on, I realized, oh, I'm in his house. This is a role play. I get it. So I said, no, don't call the police. And the asterisk puts down phone. But you can think about it in a real life situation. And the man were walking into your house. Hello, what are you doing in my house? Daddy, who is that man? He just stands silent for a few minutes, just like. And then he goes, I'm going to call the police. And then finally, no, don't call the police. That's any less reason for them not to call the police. I think that was a double negative. But yeah, so and then he's just like, the kid then starts crying. He just like, he says, starts crying, no asterisks. And then I then say, puts muzzle on something. That kid's annoying me. I hate crying kids. Everywhere, even in my role play, little kids are crying. So I put a muzzle on the kid, and I think I got the best response I could have got from that role player. He then types out, I'm just thinking in my head, like, wow, you're not actually a muzzle on it. It's so serious people take these things. But I realized from that, like, I didn't say I had a muzzle or anything. I just had one. I can just do whatever I want. I'm a superhero in this world. So I was a superhero, more like a villain in that world. So the guy, the OC chimes in and says, take the muzzle off my son. Tries to take muzzle off. He says that asterisks. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Puts lock on muzzle. I don't know if you can do that with a muzzle, but I did it. So then we got the lock on the muzzle, and the guy says, he yells at me, unlock that muzzle. And I say, only until you answer my riddle first. And he goes, no! And I'm like, well, then you're not getting the muzzle off. He then goes, asterisk, sigh, asterisk. What's the riddle? To which I replied, what is my middle name? And he goes, that's not a riddle. And I say, yes it is. I'm the riddle master. To which he then says, I don't know, is it Cupcake? And I say, no, my name's Pickle. I don't know. My name was right there. How can you not see it? So he then just goes, all right, fine. And he says, takes out tool to break off lock. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't think quick enough of a way to stop him from doing that. I couldn't just have time to stop him. But I instead typed, kicks son into lock. But hey, in my defense, that was poor architectural planning on their part to put a lock in their house. Minecraft. Yeah. So he then goes, no! I was just like, I just didn't type anything. I was just like, what just happened? Because right when I kicked his son into the lava, he logged off. The son logged off, like he actually died. Oh my gosh! Maybe this was like some weird sentient online being that I now just murdered. And then the father then goes, I look at the spot which my son fell in. And a single tear shed off that sheet. And I was like, all right, this is getting into some poetry here. I'm going to head on out. I've got better things to do. I didn't. I was on the internet. You don't want my role play. I was lying to myself there. It being the internet, I soon got bored, and 5 minutes later returned to that chat room to see if maybe some people had joined. They did not. With some chat rooms, you can go back in. If someone's typed in some text, it'll still be there if it's recent enough. And the guy, the whole time, no one else had been in that chat room, has been typing out more things that he's been doing. Like, he's like, I build a monument to my son at the celestial graveyards. Oh, and I bring a bouquet of flowers on the memorial. I'm just like, dude, you're probably never gonna meet this guy in real life. And it flabbergasted me at just how much people take this role seriously. And then about 6 minutes later, I found out people mainly use it for online sex. It's really true. But I try not to. And so I still do more other role play. And I've done some now where I'll go into different chat rooms with more experienced role players. I like going into some kind of like scene or something fun with my character. Sometimes you can tell when someone comes into a room if they're a good role player or a bad role player. Sometimes by the picture of their character, sometimes by how they enter. Just multiple ways to tell. Well, someone came to the room and he had AOC, the original character, I believe, that was red and black. Those are the colors, usually if someone who's new does not understand that those are the most commonly used colors and the most overdone colors. But it's not always a factor. I could just be kind of stereotyping there. I believe that was like the pony version of racism. So he then says, I do 4 sonic rain booms and then enter the saloon. Few things with that one. Like, Rainbow Dash struggles to do 1. If you're going by the fandom too. But the fact that this guy did 4 beforehand, that's just bragging. He makes that sound like, it's just such an easy feat. So, I already knew this guy, I wanted to watch this guy. He enters in. We're all going about our business, no one really pays attention to him. He then says, I look at the dark corner of the saloon. I don't know why it was dark, they need to change the light bulbs in the saloon. I look at the dark corner of the saloon and go and sit at that booth. Sits down. Still no one's really paying attention to him. I pull out my bloody knife, looking at it, and I take out a napkin to clean it. And I have my character, I see this. If I was really in there, I just saw some dudes be like, let's clean this. I just killed somebody. So I look at him and say, hey, don't stab me, bro. He then says, I look at you and say, I would never hurt anybody with this knife.
Why was it doing it?
Then why do you have a knife with you? Why would you have a bloody knife with you if you're never going to hurt anybody with it? Unless you're about to cook me a chicken dinner, which I'm pretty sure you're not, you shouldn't be having a knife with you. I told him this. He tried arguing with me. Everyone else in the chat room agreed with me that that was a completely stupid thing to do, to which he then accepted his defeat and left. Now, that's just some online role-playing. For those of you that do online role-playing, how many people in here, by the way, have online role-playing, still do? Not too many. I hope some of you guys learned a bit about the culture. The hard way. Let's see. So guys, let's see. You're right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you cosplaying as?
OC.
Nope.
Inigo Ray with my OC.
All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty creative.
Okay.
First off, can I put some in water? Someone went to that. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. I can also a little bit, guys. Wow. Cheers.
Yo, you're like shit. Glass as fuck. Why don't I my glasses?
Shut it down. You know I'm the one to party with. So guys, I was back to you.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite pony?
No, not Gummy.
I'm still over the crowd.
I'll probably say Pinky.
Pinky?
Yeah, Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie Pie.
Yeah.
You approve? Thank you. I was waiting on you. Who's your favorite pony? Pinky? Pinky as well? All right. Who in here is a Pinkie Pie fan? Are you? Is the Pinkie Pie cosplayer a Pinkie fan? All right. I like Pinkie Pie. She's a fun character. Applejack. Wait, here's the thing about Applejack. She's like that serious. She's like, yes, tell me about Applejack.
Talking black.
Here's the thing about Applejack. She's the most boring of all of us. I have a microphone, I can be louder than all of you. Now listen, the reason I say that is because if you look at the main six, like Applejack is just boring. It's like Twilight Sparkle. Oh, I got a message for myself in the future. Pinkie Pie. Oh, I've cloned myself. Applejack. I'm tired. I worked too hard today.
She's a hard worker and she's an earth pony. She's still awesome.
That's background pony.
She's still boring. And a hush fell over the crowd.
Discord.
Waldorf P.
Gummy. All right, guys.
Okay. If we consider Applejack born, then we consider Pinky born. In the episode coming on.
All right, well, you don't need to spread lies now, Applejack of Truth. Now, guys, going off of ponies, I will say Applejack's not the worst of the main six. She's just the most boring. The worst of the main six was Rarity. I say that mainly because she reminds me of my sister. In the fact that whenever it was funny, but whenever she was like, this is why, that was my sister. I grew up with that. No, I'm one of the times, I wouldn't like do anything to her. Like I wouldn't put her into slavery and get me gems. That's just weird. But like, she would just like, my dad, he was not the youngest child. He was one of the older children. So whenever he picked on his youngest brother, his parents would always side with the youngest child. So my dad, he grew up knowing it's not always the case. So whenever my brother and sister would pick on me being the youngest, he would always side with them. So no matter what my sister did to me, she could get away with it. So that episode brought back some like childhood stuff.
That is okay.
But the thing is, rarity is also the element of generosity.
No, she's not.
Exactly. Thank you. And she cut off her tail in one episode and made dresses not for any ulterior motive in
But
one episode.
Applejack is the element of honesty.
Yeah. I'm off Applejack. That ship sailed. That ship sailed one time Titanic crashed.
Can we stop starting war?
No, we can't. Now, the thing about Rarity, though, while she's just not generous at all, I'm gonna give her props, not an easy one to have. I think Twilight got off a little easy with the element of magic. Because with Rarity, I would be like, if I was Rarity, she's like, why did Twilight get to assign everyone? Like, she was just calling them out. She was like, yeah, and Rarity's generosity. If I was Rarity, I would have been like, wait a minute, what other ones are there? Can I please have a list? I didn't get a pick. I didn't get a pick. The scans are on sheet. Can we please take a Democratic vote on which one I want? And it's like, but no, and it was just like, and I'm the element of magic. I was very like, the thing that every unicorn does on a daily basis. Like, can Applejack be the element of walking? Might as well, it's just like that easy. And then they gave Rainbow Dash the element of loyalty. How impractical is that? It's like, I'm thinking how often you have to be loyal. Like, when have you had to be loyal? Hey, you do that school project? Yeah. But it was for a grade. It's kind of loyal, like there's really never a time to be loyal. So I think Rainbow Dash got off easy with that one, and every time she's had to be loyal, like with the second episode, when they had to give some example of her being loyal, they have like the Shadow Bolts come out and they're like, she's supposed to type courage and cross. They're like, Applejack, where'd you get? You're making me Applejack too much! Rainbow Dash comes over, she sees the Shadow Bolts, Applejack! She sees the Shadow Bolts, and they're like, yeah, we're one of the best flying teams ever. You should totally join us. She doesn't even question it. She's not like, who are you? I've kind of been paying attention, never heard of you. She doesn't question it. And then they're like, oh, okay, sure, I'll join. I just gotta tie this bridge up first. And then they're like, no, if you do that, you can't join. Why did that not just like click in her head like, oh, you guys are evil? Like, she didn't say it. She's like, oh, she didn't think about it. She thought about it for a moment. Like, it was like, what do you want? She was like, yeah, I'm gonna tie up the bridge. Like, she was like, I don't want to take this offer. Maybe you guys have like some signing bonus. Maybe you could have got her. But like, I just thought that one was really silly. But I think the worst one was proving that Applejack is honest.
Yes.
Yeah, how Twilight about to fall off the cliff, Applejack's holding her, and it's just like, let go, Twilight. What? Appropriate reaction, by the way. And then she just goes, trust me. Not a good reason. I've known you for a day now. I don't trust you too much. Yeah, you got a nice face. You're smiling at me. But yeah, why didn't you just be like, no, don't worry, you're about to fall, and the two Pegasus, I'm not sure if you remember the names by now, but yeah, they're going to catch you when you fall. Well, yes, I know their names, but it's like, Twilight's only known for a day. I mentioned that before. Well, so it's just like, yeah, why was it just like, don't worry, two Pegasus are about to catch you. She just said, trust me. I've known you for a day. I'm sorry, I'm not going to trust you if you're holding up a cliff. Be like, no, you're going to find your Hulk strength and pull me up this cliff. That's what's going to happen. Now, I think I have made you guys angry / happy / confused enough. What? I haven't picked up Pinky yet? Yeah, she doesn't deserve it. Fluttershy? Oh, that's just mean. Fluttershy. Sorry, that one. All right, let's see. Some Spike stuff.
Dragon Oath.
What?
It's first introduction to television.
I'm gonna go off Spike. So, Spike. You guys know when Fluttershy meets Spike and she's like so interested in him, and there's the one little part where Spike's like writing on Twilight, and then she's just talking to Fluttershy. Fluttershy's like, oh my gosh, tell me about. It's my best Fluttershy impression, by the way. Oh my gosh, tell me about like all your life. And And then it's just like, Spike goes, oh, all right. And he's like, well, I started out as a purple and green egg, and then it cuts, and he's like, and now we're here. I expected that cut just to exclude one phrase, and it was, I was born as a purple and green egg, and Twilight put me into slavery, and now I'm here. So really, that's what happened. He's had no childhood. If he gets a book from her every year of his life and doesn't enjoy reading, that's like not a good thing. He was given one gem and got incredibly greedy. She's been depriving him of childhood. People will tell me, like, oh my God, you didn't play Donkey Kong Country? They're like, man, you didn't have a childhood. I'm like, really? I didn't want to miss years 4 through 18 of my life because I didn't play Donkey Kong Country.